Ooh, hi, Kara.
Hi.
It's Sweet
Although,
Subversives.
um, so right before we came on, Heather said a phrase, and now I have a song stuck in my head.
What did I say? What did I
It's
say?
not expensive.
It's not expensive.
Read a
Read
book,
a book.
read a book, read a
Read
book.
the fucking book.
So that is now
Now
what's
in
going
your
through
head,
my head.
isn't that great when somebody just says something and you're like, now I can never stop thinking of that song to the
Yep,
end of days. I'm so sorry, but it's a good one.
it is a good one.
Except when you say motherfucking book in front of
Yeah,
people, because I'm singing it.
yep.
Or what was that South Park song? Shut your face.
Motherfucker.
Yeah.
Yep.
I was singing that at school one day, and I work at a school, so that's not really appropriate. But I was like, oh, but it's adults, so I'm like, oh, I can't sing that song. You know, when you're in a good mood, and you're like,
Yep.
I'm walking around singing this song, and you're like, it's the most inappropriate song I can think of. So
So
that's
speaking of inappropriate, I told Heather about my mishap earlier today that I am now paying for so bad. Busy day, had a super busy day, and then it was time to eat lunch, but instead of eating lunch, I had errands, so I'm like, well, I'll run my errands real quick, and so I'm running them, and I realize it's like 2 o'clock, and I still haven't eaten like a bite. I haven't
no.
even had a cup of tea yet.
Oh,
Like,
dude, that's not
yeah, I know.
normal.
Yeah, I know. And so me being the whiny little wench that I am, one of my errands was I had picked up 2 1-pound bags of ham slices,
Oh,
Honey
yeah.
Bake Ham Company. And one was for sandwiches and the other one I was going to freeze. But I was like, well, I'll just have a little snick, just a little snick to have
Taste.
hold me up. I ate the pound bag.
Oh, Jesus, Kara.
So my
Oh, what?
afternoon has not gone well. So my drink for this evening
Yeah.
is non-alcoholic,
Oh, that makes
and
sense.
it is a homemade ginger ale
Oh,
to settle my tummy.
it's a good idea. If you have an upset
So
tummy.
I had a lot of ginger root, so I boiled it and put sugar and put honey in and club soda, and
That sounds really good.
so that's what I'm doing.
I mean, if you wanted to, you could make it an alcoholic one if you put like a little shot of something in there, but it doesn't
I
need it.
think I think if I did that, my intestine would jump out of my body and just
It'd
leave
go-
me.
It'd be like one of
It'd be
those,
like,
like
I'm
those
out.
cans of snakes, you know, the peanut cans
Yes.
that people give you and then they shoot out. That's your intestines everywhere. So
Eh,
that'd be
Yep.
awesome.
F this. I'm out.
I am having a Minnesota beer. This is a Montgomery peanut buster porter. It's a peanut butter porter that I really like, and it's in a little brewery that's not very far from where I live, and I love it. And they always have the coolest art. I want to go and ask them like who designs this stuff. This
That is
brewery had the what was it, that Tiger King you
Oh,
know, they
yeah.
made the Tiger King beer too, and I just really love them. They do really creative stuff and it tastes good. So yeah. So cheers, Kara. I'm sorry about your fiasco of meat. So you had the meat sweats, I guess. Mm, it happens to
Yes.
everyone.
Mabel let me hold her paw.
She's like, Mama, you can get through this. She probably thought you were a champion for eating a pound of meat, although she's probably jealous.
Oh, she got some. Tracy gave some to her, so
Oh, good. Well, you know, it's your cat. She
I
is the
know.
queen.
I
That is
know.
awesome.
Well, exciting tonight. We have
Yes, it is.
exciting news. We have a fantastic libertarian who is caught being good.
Yes.
On tonight's show, we have Ryan Graham, and he is the chair of LP Georgia. And so he is joining us. We can bring him on in
Come on in.
because Georgia has fantastic freaking news. Like
Woo.
news that is like, what, how many years in coming?
Well, we've been working on it for 4 years, but
Yeah.
about 80 years coming.
Yeah.
So
For real. Like, this is like, what?
yeah. Should I do it now? Is that what I'm saying now? No.
Yes.
What?
So could you give the rundown on the challenge that LP Georgia was facing just getting on the ballot?
Yeah, so just a little history. I mentioned that the laws have been terrible in Georgia for 80 years for ballot access. In the early 1940s, the Georgia legislature and the Secretary of State said no more commies on my ballot, and they put a law. They put a law in place to restrict communists from being on the ballot. But it was overgeneral, and basically it required 5% of everyone who's an active registered voter in the district to sign a petition. For U.S. House right now, I don't know how many it was back then, but for U.S. House today, that's about 20,000 signatures for each candidate to get on the ballot. So for each of 14 districts, you'd have to get 20,000 per, and really that's 40,000 per, because active, registered, blah blah. They're going to be bad. Yeah. So we challenged that. The Greens and the Constitution Party challenged for the presidential race some years ago, and they won their lawsuit and brought it back down from about 50,000 signatures statewide to 7,500. And we looked at that and said, all right, next up, U.S. House, let's do it. And so we've been working on it for about 4 years. Us, a couple of libertarian candidates and a couple of libertarian voters all joined in and became plaintiffs on this lawsuit. And 4 years later, we won.
Just like that.
Well, what's funny is the district court actually ruled against us originally, and we had to appeal it to the Ninth Circuit appellate court. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, whatever. And they actually ruled in our favor, vacated the original ruling and remanded it back to the district court and said, hey, you did this wrong. Try again. And then they tried again and got it right. So
do you think there will be a further appeal, or is this set?
We're not sure, honestly. The Secretary of State in Georgia is, I don't know if you guys know what's going on in Georgia, but he's kind of busy with some other things right now.
Yeah, he is.
So I would hope that they just leave it alone at this point.
He's got another fish fry going on.
Oh man, he's kind of in it. I don't know if he's expecting to get out of his primary alive. So
I would be surprised, but stranger things have happened. So
yeah, and he's been doubling down with his fight against the state GOP, which is good and bad.
Yeah. So what was it? Or what do your candidates have to do now to get on the ballot?
Well, interestingly enough, it's not done yet. So the judge did not actually make that ruling, and so but they did ask us to submit what we suggest within 21 days, and we also have a couple of other options because they actually partially ruled in our favor, partially did not rule in our favor, ruled enough to call it a win, but they didn't give us everything. So we're working with our lawyers right now for an ask. But like I said, the presidential campaign went down to 7,500 signatures from 50,000. So we're expecting something substantial like that. And I think what's fair would be, 7,500 divided by 14, maybe something like that.
Yeah.
So we're working through that. We're trying to figure it out right now.
Well, I bet your state party has just been ecstatic over this.
Oh, we're psyched. Yeah, we're psyched. And it's so funny when the AJC called, they've got one thing in mind right now. In the national news, you guys probably have heard of Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Yes.
And the AJC reporter was, listened to me for a while and said, okay, that's fine. But what about in a district where you might have an unpopular candidate, somebody in office right now who might be causing waves? I'm like, are you asking about Marjorie Taylor Greene? He's like, yes. So we have plans to put somebody in every single district race. Yeah. So
Yes.
Love
That
it.
makes me happy for many reasons.
yeah. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, we're super psyched. I'm glad this is this kind of podcast too.
It is.
Oh,
I don't know
yeah.
if you guys
that
saw me
kind.
sneak off and come back. I saw the beers and I was like, okay,
You're
I didn't
like,
know it was
oh.
that kind of podcast.
It's that kind of
It's
podcast.
this kind of podcast usually. Well, and Heather and I are lightweights, so we usually have like one or two cocktails, and by the end of it, we're like, wow, because we're cheap dates,
Yeah.
I know
We
how
don't
that works.
anywhere.
So I was telling you, I have another podcast where we basically just drink and talk sports, and by the end of it, we're all pretty wasted. So
yeah, we do that with LP business, and
Oh.
I think alcohol goes really, really good with LP
Yes.
business.
yes, yeah. When we plan our conventions, I always make sure to plan a place that has booze, or at least to let us bring some.
And speaking of that,
Oh, yeah.
so the regional trainings are happening, and Atlanta, Georgia, or Atlanta area
Mhm.
was selected as the area for your region to have it.
We're gonna
So I'm
send a bunch
excited.
of U.S. House candidates your way to train them.
And I am happy about that. I am here for it.
Yeah,
So
us too.
yeah, so I get to work with you on that. So I'm
Yeah,
pretty
we're excited. We actually, the same person who planned our convention this year and put it into, I don't know if anyone's heard, but we had it at a really cool theater, like a local
Yeah.
theater where they do community theater stuff, and it really worked out well. We had a karaoke party with the stage and dancing and stuff. It was not
Awesome.
normal, but awesome. And so the person who planned that is helping us plan the training as well. So
That's exciting. And you know what? What a good description of libertarian stuff. Not normal, but awesome.
Yeah.
They should make a poster of that.
Yeah. Who said you have to have a carpeted ballroom in a hotel? Like, that doesn't make any sense.
Exactly. You can totally go outside of the box for this.
That's right.
But yeah, so super excited. I can't wait to come to Atlanta. Did we pick a date yet?
I forget. I think we picked a weekend maybe, but I'm not 100%.
Yeah, I think we had a couple selections on that. I know it's not August, so I'm happy about that because Atlanta in August is challenging.
It's Memorial Day weekend, I think, is what we planned. Is what we decided. The long weekend. Yep. I'm pretty sure that's what we landed on.
Oh yeah, that's coming up. Very nice.
Yay! So very excited.
Yeah, we're psyched about that too. And honestly, the affiliate training too.
Yes.
One of our major goals is, as we decentralize and back up decentralization, growing our local affiliates has been a goal of ours.
Yeah.
And it's been paying dividends for us. When I go through and I'm checking like how many members are in each county and things like that, you can tell that where there's local affiliates, there's a bunch of members because they're out there getting the word out, doing things. So that's been paying dividends. So I'm really excited about that as well.
Yeah, I'm excited too. And your region is kind of coming out as a powerhouse. So.
Oh yeah, I know. Tennessee has a new chair, right? So and he's already reached out, and I think we're working together a lot better now too. We've just the last couple of years, me and Stephen Nikela, and then now Dave Jones is in Tennessee, and we've all been just kind of getting along really well. I think we just have similar thoughts. So
well, it's great when you can work together really well with these things. So what else is up? Anything else going on for Georgia? I mean, your big news is the court thing, but is there anything else that is happening in your state?
Oh man, I mean, what isn't happening? Today's the last day of the legislative session, so it's been like, trying to follow all of the nonsense that they try to cram in on the last day. They're probably still up there. I think they usually stay up there till midnight and ram through pretty much everything that they were too embarrassed to show anybody before the last day, and they just try to ram it all through. So, just waiting on some of that news.
Well, fantastic. Well, thank you very much for joining us.
Absolutely.
This was super exciting. Please let us know when you figure out, between you and the court and that kind of thing, on what are your ballot requirements now and what does that end up being, and hopefully that process goes smoothly for you.
Yeah, and then next up will be, challenging for State House and State Senate, because they're like 2,000 signatures for State House and 9,000 signatures for State Senate, and it's absurd if it's, way less to be a U.S. House candidate than to be a State House candidate.
And it's odd that they're making you challenge each level.
It's I don't understand
That's really
necessarily
odd.
all the legal intricacies, but I believe it's a jurisdiction issue. So we're in federal court, so they can only rule on federal issues, and we would have to take it to a state court, is what I think. But my lawyer, if he was listening, would probably correct me. I get stuff wrong.
That's what the lawyers are for.
Exactly.
Exactly.
That's their deal.
I'm fairly certain that's correct.
Well, fantastic, Ryan. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. And
Absolutely.
Yay, Georgia.
Yeah,
Hey,
thanks for
Georgia.
having me on, guys.
Yeah, thank
Also,
you.
it's called Speed Stick. It's not expensive.
It's not expensive.
That's right. It's not expensive.
I love that.
Oh my God,
it.
you know the song too.
I'm gonna put a link on our page so people who don't know can watch the whole video, and then they will hear that song in their head over and over again. Oh man!
All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you, Ryan. That's awesome. Oh,
It is
man.
awesome. I mean, that was big, fantastic, wonderful news.
Yes, it is. I love that. I really just wish ballot access was already a thing everywhere. That we didn't have to fight it on every level, on state,
in every state,
in every
year,
level,
oh
and locally, and they make up shit for us to do, and like that's got to go away.
Yeah, and it's great to hear this win, because in other states, it's going the opposite way, where the legislatures are increasing and making it more difficult for our candidates to get on the ballot, because we're getting more voters. We're getting more voters, and we are affecting elections, and we are causing runoffs and all of these kinds of things. And so, like, in some of these states, they have increased the number of signatures that you need to get on the ballot by a factor of 5.
It's because they're scared of us.
Oh yeah, they are. Yeah.
Well, and that it's like you don't poke the bear. The more they poke us, the more we'll be like, poke. You're like, hey, you want to get some more signatures? And I'm like, it just makes us try harder. So stop it. And that's the thing. Eventually, they're not going to be able to keep doing that, and they're going to have to cry, and we'll drink their tears, and it will be delicious. Oh, did you lose? Oh, I'm sorry. Me and my 800,000 signatures. Really, I guess that helped. That I'm legitimate. That kind of thing. I'm like, oh. It's just ridiculous. Everyone who wants to run should be able to run. I'm sorry. It shouldn't be like signatures. Are you real? Like what? Like all the door knocking isn't real. All the work that people put in. It just doesn't make sense.
So Ryan saying about the training date, it made me paranoid, because I'm trying to keep all these dates in my mind. So
yeah, you get a lot of them.
For Region 2, we have some dates for different regions. We have Region 1 is going to be July 17th and 18th, and that will be in Salt Lake City, Utah.
Ooh.
Region 2, which is, Yeah.
Yeah.
Atlanta, right? That will be
Yeah.
May 29th and 30th.
Okay.
And then we have California Region 4, Long Beach, and they will be August 14th and 15th. And then the first one coming up is Region 8, which will be in Newark, New Jersey, May 22nd and 23rd.
Dude, you're gonna be everywhere.
So he is correct. It is the long weekend. It is the Memorial weekend that we're going to be.
Oh.
I'll be in Atlanta.
Oh, that'll be a fun one.
I
Yeah.
know.
Party,
I'm
party.
excited about this. And some of these other regions are getting really close to setting their date and city and getting their venue. So we'll have that up pretty soon. But yeah, I'm going to be like going all over the country.
I think all the regions need to compete with each other for the most awesome parties there and like the coolest stuff to do. And then Kara, at the end of the year, it'll be like the Oscars, and you
give
can
the
give
award.
an award like for the best region conference goes this region because the belly dancers and
Right.
the
And I can be
the
bribed.
champagne fountain and yes, and the sushi on the the half naked person laying there in the middle of the
Sushi
room.
could really do that. Yeah.
I'd be like, whoa.
Or kitties for me
Oh my
to
God.
love,
Yes.
like a hotel kitty.
Like I remember being in New Orleans and we were on a tour and we walked by a place that had a kitty in the window and we're all like,
You're like,
kitty. And they're telling us really important things about the city and I'm like, kitty, 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 kitty. So yes, that might actually be like the good evil way to win hearts and minds.
exactly. Yeah,
So-
that could bribe me. You could bribe me with cats.
So yeah, I mean, I think you're gonna have like some awesome experiences. Get to see people from all over the country. It's gonna be epic. I love it.
Yes. Yeah. I'm
Yeah, but no giant amounts of meat for you for a little while.
no, and I've been trying to eat well.
Yes,
So,
you've been eating very healthy.
my deal. 4 cups of vegetables a day, 2 cups of fruit a day. Like that's my goal every day. And so that doesn't leave a lot of room for meat, and if I eat meat, I try to keep it to like the pack of playing cards, right?
Yeah, that's what they say. It works really good.
So yeah, that was brutal.
Yeah, I know what you mean though. Sometimes your body's just like, I think I'm gonna eat all that. And your like brain says no, 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 no. But then your body's like, yeah, we're gonna. And I'm like, okay. The brain's like, yeah, you're right. It's just all of a sudden when you get to a certain level of hungry, it's just like, I'm just gonna eat that. Like my kettle corn disaster of the day. Like you put something tasty in the house, I'm probably gonna eat it. That's why I try to. If you don't buy snacks, you don't eat all the snacks. But then I'm married to a guy who likes snacks, so that's the way it goes.
So I have a question for you on kind of like the hot thing that is the big discussion.
What?
Vaccine passports.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, that's going to be a thing. Totally. I've been watching a channel on cruises. Don't ask me why. I'm just like, I'm like trips. I want to go on every kind of trip. But this lady she's like, oh, all the cruise industry was dying and like travel industry was dying. And now it's starting to way pick up because people want to go. But the big thing is almost all of them are requiring vaccines to even go. But then how are they going to do it? How are they going to prove it? Are you just going to show your card? Or is there going to have to be some sort of like special thing? Like, are you going to have to register it somewhere, somehow? I mean, I'm sure they already have it. Yeah, it is a BS thing.
Yeah. So New York has implemented it. New York has already implemented a vaccine passport. And what they did is they paid IBM to develop it. So this is government money.
Oh, yeah.
And they developed an app, and it is tied into the state database for vaccination. And then you have to show it, gives you a little QR code on your phone, and you have to show that. And they're telling businesses, if you wish to have more people than we allow, because of course we have COVID mandates,
Oh, no.
then you have to implement this.
So they're going to make businesses pay to do it? Is this like some sort of
No,
coercion?
it's free. It's free.
Free.
It's
Except
free.
you got to get everything set up to accept it, though.
And so people are seeing this, and people have this wrong idea over what these passports are. People are looking at like those old like yellow cards that you write, you know, when you got like a shot and your doctor wrote something on it. Or maybe you need to get like a yellow fever shot for going somewhere,
like they used to
an
travel.
exotic locale, right?
Yeah.
And it's not the US that's requiring that shot. It's that country is requiring you to have that shot if you're going to enter.
Yeah.
And people are like, oh, well, I don't see what the big deal is. I mean, this is just for international travel. That is not what is being proposed.
No.
And is not what is already happening. Like, this is implemented.
Yes.
This is not, I wonder if they'll do it. This is implemented. And so what they're doing is the government is paying. They paid to have this app developed. They tie it into the state records. And then they coerce these businesses to implement it because they're telling them, we're not going to let you fully open unless you do this. But then they get to say, well, it's not the state making them do this. The state is not doing this. This is voluntary by the business. And the business, it's their private property rights. No, that's bullshit. It's not their private property rights. This is government coercion.
Yeah, they're strong arming them. And if you want your business to stay open, you have to do this.
Exactly.
Oh, and honestly, I might be wrong, but I thought that private medical records are something that shouldn't be tied to private businesses so they can look at it. And it seems like an app is checking on your medical records to make sure that you are okay.
But Heather, you have to opt into it to load this app onto your phone. So it's totally voluntary.
Even if that's so, there should be an amount of time where that is is it for this year? Is it forever? Because I'm telling you, once they put that in place, it's forever. You're always going to have them have rights to your and what else are they going to be able to get access to?
Oh, you are on the right rabbit hole, because in the articles, and these are mainstream articles, right? So USA Today, all that kind of stuff. They're already talking about, number one, expanding this to other states. And you know, our shithole state is totally going to be on board with this, right? Yeah. Our governor is like stroking himself, imagining this.
Yeah, he's exactly. Like, ooh.
Yeah. So they're already talking about that. They're already talking about, well, and we can have it for other vaccinations, and we can have it for other medical procedures as well, because why not?
Yeah, once we open this,
and they are. This is, you know, because they used it for Madison Square Garden. They used it for a couple other larger venues. They're using it for weddings.
Yeah.
But they're already saying this will be great for restaurants and grocery stores. So to go to a grocery store
in your own town,
buy food,
now you're
going to have to give up access to your medical records.
It's kind of, I mean, okay, I don't like it. It seems sort of like a third world, like, do you have your pass, your papers? Are your papers up to date? You know, it seems like old Nazi stuff where they like check you at the gate, and you know, if you don't have it, then you're out. You know, like to play the game.
Yeah, and Ben Nixon has the right question. How much do you want to bet it will be a condition of being covered by the liability shield? And that is exactly right. You can bet they're going to start tying this into business licensing. They're going to do this. And the other fun thing that will happen is
Fun.
they'll say, oh, well, these businesses are voluntarily doing this. And then they'll look at it and they'll say, you know what? Government needs to protect our residents from these businesses doing something like this. So we'll have the government take it over
Oh my God.
to
Oh,
protect.
cool. To protect us. Oh, it's always going to be, they'll say, oh, it's for us and for the children and to protect people. And then it never goes away. It's never going away. I like this comment too. It says, even if you have your 2 doses, you're still requiring a negative COVID test taken within 72 hours of arrival, otherwise quarantine on arrival. You have the vaccine, you should be okay, but it's like overkill everywhere. And
it is overkill. And they're talking about, they need to do this because so many people are not getting the vaccine. On what effing planet are you on? There are wait lists of people trying to get the vaccine.
Yeah, no, it's not even a question. It's just like they don't have enough, and now it's gonna be like you're trying to get into Studio 54, like just so you can get in to the fun stuff, but you gotta have the right papers, or the right app. And I'm horrified.
It is. This is a big one. I mean, so government has wanted to really do a big expansion of this surveillance state into our medical areas. They've also wanted to do a big expansion in your medical care in your body, dictating what medical care you have to have. And they have been waiting. Like, this is something that they have wanted to implement for a long time. And number one, they had to wait for the technology. But number two, they needed to wait for when they think there would be enough acceptance of this. And they believe they have that now.
Oh yeah,
they're moving so quickly, and they're moving quickly enough that people are not understanding what this is. Because when you look at the discussions online, people are talking about, oh, you mean that little card? That's just a reminder card to tell you, and it's just a piece of paper. I mean, it's for international travel. What?
Well, and then if people lose it, what the heck?
You better get on it.
You gotta check yourself. I think it's going to be one of those things that it's going to keep going and going.
And Ben Dixon is also right.
Oh, here we go.
This app also, the apps also have in there geofencing.
No.
So they know where you are. So how else can this be expanded? And he's right. It absolutely can be expanded in those ways.
So they use it to track us. They'll have an excuse built in to track us because of health reasons.
Exactly.
Oh,
could it be expanded into areas of, say you go to jail for a marijuana offense or something like that, right?
Shoot.
You serve your time. Okay, well, is it now going to alert other people that they are within 12 feet of someone who had been in jail?
Yeah. I mean, like, at what point will it stop? And who's going to see this information? Like, is it going to be the guy at Starbucks? Is he going to know things about you that, I mean, how do we know this protected information doesn't fall into the wrong hands? What if that guy's stalking you? That's not cool.
I mean, there are so many ways that this is just a bad idea. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, Black Mirror. I love that show so much, but we're living it.
We're living it. We're living it. I mean, and all of this is just crazy. And you will see some people, and quite a few people actually saying, well, I want to know that the people that I'm in a grocery store with have been vaccinated. And so I'll tell you that over this past year, people have morphed into this idea. There's been this thought pushed forward, and people have really internalized it. And they have internalized it with all the fighting that we've done over masks and having businesses shut down and social distancing. And the idea that has gotten into people's heads now is, I have a right to not be exposed to your germs if you have any.
The thing is, like, even if everybody does this, let's say they all use the apps, devil's advocate, everybody uses the apps, there's still going to be viruses. There's still going to be things that get past an app. So is it worth to lose all our freedom for that chance that maybe you won't get sick? Because you know what? You're still going to get sick.
People are saying yes.
Oh, live in a
They're
bubble then.
saying yes.
They need to live in a bubble because there's no way that this is going to
seriously,
work.
Look on Twitter and look at vaccine passports, or look at the conversations that's happening on Facebook and Instagram and other, TikTok. TikTok's been going off crazy off on this.
People have lost their damn minds.
But people really are saying, when I go into a restaurant, I want to know that every single person there has had their vaccines. And if they haven't, they shouldn't be in there. And if they make the choice that they're not going to have this medical procedure, they should not be allowed to be in society.
Well,
and it is a not insignificant number.
This is just going to be another tool that people use to oppress poor people, to oppress people of color, to oppress people who you just don't really want to have around you. Like, oh, but do you have the app? And then, if somebody is wealthy and they're like, oh, I didn't bring my phone. Well, you're okay. You can come in. You're not a dirty person. We can let you in. But it's just another tool to oppress us all. And it's not going to stop because people love it. Oh.
Yes, Ben Dixon did totally get me hooked on the Subversives. He sends me the best links.
He's a great subversive. You're very sweet and subversive. You're in the right place, Mark.
Exactly.
TikTok's kind of fun. I hate to say it, but I downloaded it just because I thought it was going to disappear. Because I thought, like, when Trump was in office, he was getting rid of it. And I'm like, I'm getting that. I don't even care. And then I start watching it. I'm like, this is pretty fun. I don't even know why they were so upset about it. Because I go on Reddit and I'm like, the shit there is way worse. You're going to, like, get rid of something. Reddit would be the place to go. But that's not going anywhere. Because, they love to make people cry on Reddit. And TikTok's all about watching a dude on a skateboard, like, drinking juice and going down, like, listening to Fleetwood Mac. I don't know.
There's some seriously good rants on TikTok.
Oh, I love it. And they're short. Ones. Yes. And I mean, like, we love Lubalin, whatever his name is. And yeah, I mean, stuff like that just makes life kind of fun. But maybe we need to reach out to the TikTok crowd, Kara, so we can get them so they're not so afraid of everything.
Boy, I'll tell you, it's so this is one of those times where things seem to go slow, and then it's all of a sudden, right? And for years and years and years, they've been looking at and wanting to do something like this. And now it is happening so fast. But I remember back in April, they were already starting to discuss this, starting to discuss vaccine passports. But, we didn't have a vaccine developed yet and that kind of stuff. And so people were like, well, why should I even pay attention to this? We don't even have a vaccine yet, and we probably won't have one. But at that time, companies already started to develop these products, and they did it in partnership, meaning they were funded. They were funded by state and federal government to prepare for this,
Oh yeah.
because this is something that they really want to happen. And now it is happening so fast. I mean, it's just getting implemented so fast. And you talked about the cruise industry. So the cruise industry, and I saw DeSantis is going toe to toe with the federal government, because he is saying Florida wants to open up to the
Yeah, they
cruise
totally do.
industry, and they will not do the vaccine passports. They're not going to require them.
Good.
And in talking to the cruise industry, they're like, we're totally fine not doing the passport.
Yeah.
Like, if you're not going to make us do it, like other European countries are talking about, they're going to make them do it. If you're not going to make us do it, like, we're fine with that. And but it's our federal government that is blocking it right now. Otherwise, we would have it open. It would be open right now.
Are other governments doing this, Kara? Like, are there other governments pushing for a passport, like a vaccine passport, like we are?
UK is big time. I think some of the European countries will. I think some of the other Central American, South American, Mexico, those look less likely.
Okay.
U.S. Virgin Islands, the British Virgin Islands, they probably will. So, it just depends. So it will affect ports of call, because maybe a port of call will, require it, or maybe you can't get off at that port of call, or, whatever. But we'll see. I mean, we'll see how this shakes out.
It's like Red Gypsy, universal government. I'm starting to get worried that this is just an excuse to make it so you can't travel around the world and go to different places with different kind of laws. It'll end up.
They're going to make it so you can't go to the grocery store.
Yeah, if you can't even leave to go to the grocery store without it. I mean, are people going to have like underground railroads to go get groceries at Aldi's? Like,
well, they're saying you can just do curbside. You can do curbside. You don't need to go in.
Who can live like this? Who can live like that?
They want to make it so painful that you have to buckle under, and then you have to accept this, and do not believe that it is just going to be this vaccine, and do not believe that it is just going to be vaccines.
What can we do?
It's not. What we have to do is we have to start telling our state and federal governments and contacting them and saying, this is not acceptable. And we need to be talking to our friends and family about this and explaining what this really is.
And
getting them to say no. Because you can be completely pro-vaccine.
Yeah.
And totally anti-passport.
Yeah. Because I don't have a problem with the vaccine at all. I think for me, it seems like a good idea, but I think that a passport, that's an overreach of the government. Oh, what's this say? Mark, whitewashed. Yeah. And they admit. Yep.
It was.
There's so much crap. Ah, it hurts my brain.
So what this is tying into is, you know how in China they have the like their social score, and their social score allows them, can you even travel? Can you make a purchase? And it's behavior, and it's money, and it's loyalty to government, and it's all of these different factors that give you a social score.
Oh my God. That is so Black Mirror. It's like the one episode where like they had to be liked by people to be able to get like credit ratings and stuff. And like, oh, you're doing safe stuff. So now your social score goes up. So now you can travel to England. But you gotta get a couple more points before you can go.
This is another version of that.
This
is simply another version of that. That's
Oh,
what we're looking at.
no, I don't want it. No, 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 no. Oh, Kara, no. Why
So
is this
we
is,
we need to get on the ball, and we need to get really vocal.
we have to
And
be advocates
we are
for
going to have to be
taking our rights.
advocates, and we do not have much time. We do not
No.
have much time.
They're going to get this under the wire. They're going to try to sneak it in as fast as they can because people are letting them.
Yeah. Well, and it's already been implemented in one state.
Yeah. If it's in one state, then the rest are going to be like, bum, bum, bum. Because
Yeah.
in our state, totally. Oh my God. Minnesota is bonkers for that stuff.
Exactly. And our governor, when asked, he said he was just shook. Oh, so shook, thinking about a fourth wave coming through. And
That's what they're doing.
they were asking him about, well, aren't we going to be relaxing mitigation measures,
No.
suppression measures? They're not mitigation measures. They're suppression measures.
Yeah.
Because we have such a high vaccination rate right now. And he was like, oh, I don't want to discuss that. I'm so shook at the thought of a fourth wave. So
no, he's shook because he's excited. He's shaking with excitement about the possibility of more rights getting taken away.
yeah,
He's like, ooh, oh, I'm shook.
yeah, it's like porn. It's like porn.
Yeah, it's just gross, isn't it?
It's statism porn.
Statism porn. Ooh, I can just get my state all over you.
Oh,
what?
I'm going to run us out of time, and I don't want that to happen because we got to have you give us some porn, Heather.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you like my porn, huh?
I like your porn.
Well, how about I give you just a tip? Okay, this is a really weird one. I was thinking about this. I like to do stuff like girly stuff, like facials, and take care of my skin and do nice stuff. I do microneedling, and poke yourself with needles to make yourself look young. It's quite great. But for a long time, I've been using like the drugstore stuff for numbing. It's like I wish I'd brought it now that but it's like this stuff for like back pain. You rub it in and your skin gets numb. It's pretty cheap. But when I done stuff like I'm like done like tweezing, or if you want to rip your hair out and whatever, it's not enough. I want it to be totally numb because I'm a big baby. So I found that you can order like really good like lidocaine. I'm like looking at it. I was going to call it something else. Lidocaine from Korea. And you can get it like on like tons of places like AliExpress, and there's places you can order. So I got a giant freaking tub of Neocaine. I'm never gonna run out of this stuff. And it was super cheap, dude. It was like $10, and then I had free shipping from but it took like a month to get here. But so I tried it the other day, and I was like, holy crap, I don't feel anything. And I was like, I actually almost overstabbed myself because I'm like, this can't be doing anything. I'm like, oh, I'm bleeding now. Okay. I'm like, this stuff is great. So what you're supposed to do is put this stuff on, and then get your saran wrap, plastic wrap stuff, put it on top of it, let it sit for a while, like 15 minutes or so. Some of them are different. Sometimes it's 20 minutes. And then you're numbed up and you can do whatever you want. Like microneedling is great for it. If you do anything like, lots of tweezing and stuff, and you're a big baby like me, but who knew they have stuff like this? There's like this crazy, like bruising cream I saw. I'm like, wow. And it's really cheap. So unless the New World Order makes that go away, I think that's totally worth it. And it's like a vat. I'm never going to run out. It's cheaper than the stuff I got at my own drugstore for this has, what is it? Let me look at this. 10.56% lidocaine. And here I think it's only like 4%, something like that. So it's wimpy and you feel pain. This, you don't feel pain. You could almost do surgery on yourself, but don't do that. So just to let you know, you can get everything on the internet, and I'm learning this. And I can't, I will say, what is the disclaimer? I'm a stupid person, and I do things to myself that you shouldn't do. Don't do that. But you can get this on from Korea. Who knew? So don't do that. So that's my tip. Don't do what Heather does, but it's kind of awesome. So it's just a tip.
So I had that, but like prescription for
Yeah.
when I had my port. And that's what I would do. I would put it on there, put saran wrap over it, because they would have to jab that like freaking needle in there.
You need to have something strong if you're going to be poking something into your body, really.
Yeah.
But the stuff that they have here is just so weak that, I mean, like if you have any sort of pain threshold, like the normal stuff wouldn't work, especially if you're putting port stuff in. But I think that's just awesome. Wait, or a gel for good for prison. This stuff is like you could use this for. Actually, this is one of the things I saw, Mark. For people use this for tattooing. Yeah, it's really good, and I'm just like, I can totally do this now. Things that would make me cry before, even with the numbing, this is actually really numb. And I've had people ask me, like, what should I use? And I'm like, I like the cheapest thing you can get, but this is really good and cheap, but it just takes you a month to get it. So, yeah, it's
Plan ahead.
Plan ahead if you're going to order from Korea. That's all I'm saying. But you can get free shipping on a lot of stuff. It's amazing. And it comes over on the slow boat, but you can get that. So that's my tip. It's weird stuff in there. So anyway.
And we're getting close to the end. So if you guys have your one awesome thing that you want to share, something that happened this week that was awesome, or could be a small thing, could be a big thing, but something that just really made your week that you want to share with other people, write it in the comments and we will share that, and then we can all kind of be happy together. Yeah, they use it in ERs for road rash. Yes, exactly.
Oh God. Yeah, that's the worst is I had a bike accident once and just picking gravel out, and then like
that sucks.
You just like later and you're like, I think I got it all out, and then all of a sudden you find a piece of gravel somewhere else. Yeah, that's the worst pain. Sorry, I was taken back. Like, oh,
yeah, there's having a flashback.
Over the top of my handlebars. I can still see it in my head, and I'm like, oh God. And that's when we didn't wear helmets because we were stupid in the 80s and whatever, like none of us wear helmets. I'm like, I don't need that. That gets
right.
I want my hair flying in the wind, and they're like, all it takes is one time flying over your handlebars, and you're like, yeah, I'm not invincible. So put your good things in the comments, please, please, please. We love to see them. Oh, I had one earlier, and now I can't remember what my good thing was, Kara.
Uh-oh.
I'm obsessed with trying to figure out a dessert to bring for Easter. That's all. It's just getting in my head. Oh, here's a good one.
That is a good one.
I love that name, too. Such a great name. I love that people are going back to old names. Because for the long, I mean, we have college students and everybody's name is like a different version of this. It's like all one name and then they all spell it different. So you never get it spelled right and it's confusing. But Violet, Lila, Ellen, and there's like all these cool old names coming back. Benjamin. And I'm like, wow, I love that. So congratulations on little Violet coming into the world. Oh gosh, I'm trying to think what else. Oh, I can't remember my thing. Oh,
I've had such a shitty past 2 days that it's kind of erased anything good that came before it. Struggling, man.
2 for 3. Peeps are still 2 for 3 at Barley's, and it isn't even Easter. Here's one of my good things. I haven't seen my parents forever, and I get to see them this weekend. And I'm really, really excited to get to see them. And I'm also struggling because I have to figure out a dessert to bring. And I kind of want to make something in my air fryer. Like I was trying to figure out how to make like cake or cheesecake in my air fryer just because I wanted to use it for that. But I have to find a recipe.
I'm not going to pretend any modesty. I make really fucking good cheesecake. I would give you my cheesecake recipe.
Oh, in the air fryer?
No.
Okay, I was just like, I'm
Love
like,
it. You
I
gotta do it
found
now.
one that's like a meringue that you can do in the air fryer. It's like what is it called? It's something where you make you put like fruit and stuff on top of the meringue, and it's a dessert. So that's another one I was looking at. So sorry, that's like all I can think about is food.
You're like, I must make this dessert.
But I get to see my parents, and I'm really excited. So, and I haven't seen them for so long.
I know the one awesome thing, and it was us together. We
Yeah,
had lunch with our friend Wendy.
that was awesome. That was my other awesome thing. It's so always so nice to see you, and then we haven't seen Wendy forever, and I
Yeah.
love that. And it was the best waffle ever.
Oh my God. So we have this place in Burnsville called The Buzz.
I love that place.
Place is unreal. So you can get it's a coffee shop, right?
Yeah.
But you can get waffles in like 100 different ways, and I am not kidding you.
It's so many.
And you can have them done vegan, you can have them done gluten-free, you can have them done regular, and then it's like all these different sweet kinds, all these different kind of savory ones. Like, so I had a flaming pig, and it had bacon inside the waffle, and it had jalapenos inside the waffle, and then it had chocolate chips on top, and then you do the syrup.
Yeah.
Freaking good. But they have like chili dog ones.
I had one that had bacon in it, but it was like a cinnamon roll. It had like the cream cheese frosting on it. Oh my God, so good. I think Wendy had a vegan version of. Was it the same one, but a vegan?
Yeah, it was a vegan version of it. So
and they're all amazing. I was just like, oh, and you guys you had restraint because you didn't finish your whole giant waffle, but I'm like,
I would have died. But
so
seriously,
yummy.
I mean, you can look their menu up online, but the Buzz,
so good.
It's incredible.
It is
Absolutely
worth it.
incredible. So we went there for lunch.
They have good chai too. I like it a lot.
They do.
Here, Wisconsin
That is
Supreme Court
awesome news.
overruled statewide governor's mask mandate. I like that. That's good news too.
Never happened in Minnesota.
No, we have sucky rules.
Our court is shit.
Yeah,
it's shit.
We're working on it, but yeah. But for good things, good for Wisconsin.
And I have another good thing. So I'm trying to come up with good things because, like I said, my last 2 days have been so shitty that it's like really good to focus on good things. Like,
yes,
so
it is.
I'm going to do another good thing. My husband and I went to the movies.
Oh yeah, you did. I want to go to that movie too.
And that movie was frickin' awesome. It was so much fun. God, what was the name of it?
It's Nobody, because I totally want to go see
Nobody.
it. It's Bob Odenkirk, who I love, and I'm just started watching Better Call Saul, and I love it so far. So if you're looking for something,
movie is like violent action flick,
so like John Wick, but with dad.
Yes, yes, like John Wick, but he's a dad, and also slyly funny.
I love it. Well, and he was a comedy writer for I think Saturday Night Live with his brother for years. They're super funny.
Really good movie. So if you have an opportunity to go see Nobody, do it.
That is my plan. Also, I heard that Godzilla versus King Kong I know. I always feel, but I think, okay, here's my theory is that they're going to team up at the end. They're going to fight at the beginning, but they're going to be best friends at the end because I've heard like a couple things about another monster that's coming into it. Don't want to spoil it for you, but I think they're going to be besties by the end, and it's going to be awesome. So I think
you'll have to watch it first because I cry.
I know.
I cry and then I have nightmares because I feel bad. Like I feel bad for King Kong.
Oh yeah.
Oh my
God. They can't kill King Kong. They can't cry. In the movies where they kill King Kong, I cry.
And I feel bad for Godzilla.
Because they're both the good guys in this. And I think they start off fighting, but I think they have to team up. So I think it's the kind of movie, Carrie, I think you're going to be able to watch, but I will watch it first. I'll throw myself on the grenade and make sure. Okay. I will promise you also this. All the humans are going to suck. Just saying.
They can all die. All the humans.
Why do they even put them in there? It's like the rest of it's all kaiju battle. Like, let them fight.
But yeah, I feel bad for them, and then I just cry, and I'm like, they're so misunderstood.
They are.
If someone was nice to them.
I totally love Godzilla, and I actually love Godzilla more than King Kong, but I love King Kong too, so I really don't want them to be hurt.
Well, because it's all Frankenstein's monster.
Oh, it is. And then you have the humans.
And I can't watch that because I'm like, oh my God.
Well, and I always feel like the humans are the bad guys anyway. So when they squish the tanks and stuff, I'm like, yeah, get them. But then you really think about it and you're like, I really don't want people to die. But I'm like, but don't hurt King Kong, okay?
Right?
You just leave people alone. That's what it's like, the non-aggression principle.
Leave me alone.
leave Godzilla alone. And he's shaving his head and jumping in the sea, poor guy. But so I want to see a movie, and maybe next time we can talk about movies and stuff too.
All right. And then you can let me know if I can watch it.
I will. I feel like I don't want to let you down, Kara. I want it to be good. And also I don't like movies where they kill the cat or the dog. I mean, that bugs me. So I know if I see it, I'm like, Kara, you can't. I was crying. If I cry, you were doubly gonna cry. So, but oh my God, it's 9:00. But before we go, I have a couple things. I wanted to make sure that we have 3 Patreons, and I wanted to put a thank you up. Thank you to Michael, Travis, and David. Thank you for supporting us. And if you want to be cool like these guys, you can join our Sweet Subversives Patreon and send us sweet cash so we can get a new microphone for Kara first, and maybe a new one for me eventually, because mine every once in a while is dying. But we do super secret stuff with them before the show. So
yeah, because maybe we can have microphones like Ryan.
Oh my God, Ryan had awesome.
Comes on our show and has a magnificent microphone.
Yes, I want to set up like that. That's my goal in life. So if you want that to happen for us, send us money.
And you can see secret videos
and super secret videos, which is fun for us.
Super secret videos that I do. The one today was brutal.
Oh gosh, I watched that. I was laughing. Like meat sweat, Kara.
It's not good.
So yes. We will. We're always happy to see everyone, and thank you, Ryan, for being on the show today. That was magnificent. Yes. We love getting to hang out.
Congratulations to LP Georgia.
Yes, LP Georgia, you rock. We love you guys, and we will see you next Wednesday for Sweet Subversive. Have a great week. Take care.